Welcome to Comic Construction. As I go through books and eliminate the ones I don't need, I wanted to kind of do some videos where I kind of talk through my process of which ones I'm going to keep. And so today we're going to be looking at Kraven's Last Hunt, as it's known now. And we're going to be looking at 5 different iterations of it. And then we're going to decide at the end which ones I'm keeping. So the first 3 are going to have the recolored version. In case you don't know, Kraven's Last Hunt was one of the first comics that Marvel actually collected and released as a collected edition. This would have been in the late 80s. Trade paperbacks and collections were, as hard as it is to believe in today's era, they were very rare. So after that book came out, it was such a critical success that Marvel repackaged it, and they had it recolored to look more like their graphic novels. So this is the second edition from 1989, and it's colored by Mike Zeck and Ian Tetrell, I guess his name is. And so, like I said, that's to look more like the Marvel graphic novel. So that's to match up a little closer with like how like X-Men God Loves Man Kills, that sort of thing. So it looks a little more painterly. I've always found these colors kind of garish, but they've also grown on me because that was the only way it's been reprinted for the longest time. So as you can see, the pinks are super saturated in there. It's very vibrant. I find some of the coloring, especially over here, it's like, the skins are very orange toned, and I don't know. I've just never found it very, very appealing for that look. Now this edition has very glossy, thick paper, which is okay. Unfortunately, the binding is glued. Now this is from 1989, and it still holds up, so maybe that's not as big a deal as I think. The next one we're going to look at is the Marvel Premiere Classic. So this is from 2006, and this is a first printing, and this is the direct market version. So in here, it's it's the same colors, but they're pretty similar. I think they look a little darker because it's a less glossy sheet. This is a nice thick sheet as well. And then on this one, you also have a glued binding, unfortunately. Next up, we have the Select Edition from 2020. I really do like this edition for a couple of reasons. One, it's got this nice printing directly on the board. It does have sewn binding, which is a huge plus. The board has this nice like texture on it. It's like a nice coating that's going to protect it. And then the printing, this is thinner paper than the other two, but I do feel like the colors are a little more muted. Not that much, but they look a little bit better, not a whole lot. Now, if I could have this format with the original print, with the original coloring, that would be amazing. And there are a few spots here, like where the colors are a little more faded. So I don't know if that's just them not doing like a true restoration on this work. But I do, if I'm going to have a hardcover, this is the one that I would have. And unfortunately, this one's pretty expensive to get. Next up, we're looking at the third printing of the Epic Collection. This is from 2023. Now, this does have the original flat colors. So as you can see, that picture of Kraven crawling is a lot different. The line work looks pretty clean, although this is not fully restored. But overall, I think it's a more aesthetically pleasing color palette. Like, Kraven doesn't look as super orange. The backgrounds and those nice cool blues are an interesting contrast to the action that's going on in the foreground, where Kraven has a very like rage-filled look on his face. And the cool thing about the Epic Collection is it's got a nice chunk of Spider-Man stories that really give you a feeling of what this era of Spider-Man was like. So if you're cool softcover, this is a great way to go. And now the final version we're going to look at is the Web of Spider-Man Omnibus. The biggest advantage of this is that it does have sewn binding, which is really nice. But unfortunately, it's over 1,100 pages, which makes it really uncomfortable to read. As you can see, it's got the flat colors in it. And this does have the full restoration by by the previous Marvel Masterworks team. So this is the best this story will ever look. I think one or two of the issues have been released as facsimile, so I was hoping we would get that really cool 9x12 edition that Marvel's doing those 9x12 books. They did Secret Wars in that style, and they did like Spider-Man, the Black Costume Saga in that style, where it was like 9x12. It replaced the gallery edition, but it was printed on like a matte paper. That would be ideal for this work. The biggest problem to me with the Omnibus is that it's over 1,100 pages, and most of it is Web of Spider-Man, and that early Web of Spider-Man stuff is rough, to say the least. So I don't know if I want to keep like 1,100 pages for like this small story. So, but you know, if you're into Omnis, this is a great way to get this just fascinating story. So ultimately, my decision is I'll be keeping the Epic Collection. Part of it is because it has Wolverine versus Spider-Man, which is a comic I just really love. I have very fond memories of, and I reread it not long ago. It's actually pretty good. And I will keep the Select Edition because I do think this is just a really nice book to own. It's small. You know, if I want to just read Kraven's Last Hunt, this is the one I'm going to grab, most likely. So thanks for checking out this video. If you found it entertaining and or useful, like, subscribe, and share with a friend.